Yata chilo harinama udharilo thara sakshi jagai madhai. As Nityananda Prabhu, he is going door to door, village to village, house to house, begging people, please take the name of Krishna. Take the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by chanting Hare Krishna. And his humility, his compassion, showed the world the power of the holy name to the extent of even giving the highest perfection of Premananda Bhakti to Jagai and Madhai. Narottam Das Thakur explains, without the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, it is not possible to understand the pastimes of Shri Shri Radha Gopinath in Vrindavan. He opens the doors through his causeless mercy. At Shankarshan Kund, we honor and take shelter of the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu and the path that he and his brother Mahaprabhu gave us of the chanting of the holy name. Not far from Shankarshan Kund is Gauri Tirtha, or Gauri Kund. Rupa Goswami writes a beautiful little story about that. In very, very summarized. One day, Abhimanyu, who was actually Krishna, who expanded himself as another Gopa to marry Sri Radha, just to make his leelas with Radha more intimately, inconceivably happy forever. So, Abhimanyu and his mother Jatila were told that Sri Radha was meeting Krishna. So Abhimanyu decided, we will move away from here to Mathura. So he was walking early one morning and he met Purnamasi, who was like the guru of all of Braj Bhumi. And she said, where are you going? He said, I want your blessings. I'm going to move to Mathura. She said, why? And he told. And for Purnamasi, her heart was trembling. What is it? How could Radharani, the ultimate queen and beloved of everyone in Vrindavan, she cannot leave here? So she recommended to him that have Sri Radharani worship Gauri at her temple. Gauri is the wife of Shiva. Of course, it's also a name of Sri Radha, but in this sense, it is Shiva Shakti, Gauri. So Sri Radha went to perform her puja. And Krishna met her there when she was picking flowers. And Jatila and Abhimanyu heard about that. So they decided, we are going to catch them together. So they came. And Krishna talked to Vrinda Devi and said, get me the clothes of Gauri. And he made himself a golden color and put on the clothes and the crown of Gauri and stood right in front of the deity, just like a deity. And when Abhimanyu and Jatila came in the temple, they saw Sri Radharani worshipping the deity. At that time, Radharani was playing, "Please, please, be merciful." And Abhimanyu asked, "What is she praying?" And Jatila asked, "Why is she praying like this?" And Gauri, who was Krishna, spoke. Said to one of the gopis, "Tell her what I have said." And the gopi said, "Gauri has spoken that Abhimanyu, in 2 days, he is going to be arrested by Kamsa. Kamsa's going to chop off his head and offer it to Lord Shiva." And Radharani is praying to have mercy on him. And Jatila and Abhimanyu were very much, "Is there anything we could do? Is there anything we could do?" And Gauri said, "No, there's nothing anybody could do. Your head will be sliced off in 2 days by Kamsa." So the only hope is Sri Radharani. Gauri said to Sri Radha, in front of everybody, "Because of your prayers, Gauri said, because of your love for me," Krishna speaking, "because of your love for me, I will protect Abhimanyu under the condition that you never leave me in Brajbhumi." And Abhimanyu and Jatila cried out to Gauri, "We will never, ever, ever take Radharani out of Vrindavan." And Gauri was very happy. She smiled. And everybody, and then Jatila and Abhimanyu were going home and saying, "Lucky we came there just in time." And Gauri said, "You should always know that Sri Radharani is the supreme, ultimate personification of chastity, purity, and love." And they said, "Yes, yes, we understand that, we understand." So they went away very happily. And then Krishna came off the throne and took off his Gauri clothes and had his wonderful pastimes with Sri Radha. That is one of the stories of Gauri Kund. Then we come a little further to Govinda Kund. Govinda Kund is one of the wonderful places in Sri Radha Krishna's Vasanta Ras Leela, where he and gopis perform their wonderful pastimes. It is the place that when Indra came after he sent his devastating rainfall to Vrindavan, with the help of Surabhi, he was able to offer his love and his worship to Krishna. And out of his honest humility, Indra, whose pride was just crushed, he wanted to express that Krishna, you are the real Indra. You are the real Lord and controller. So they had an Abhishek ceremony to coronate Krishna, the supreme king, lord of all the devas. And that Abhishek took place at Govinda Kund. Surabhi, with her unlimited volumes of pure ecstatic love in the form of milk, bathed Krishna. Airavata brought the Mandakini Ganga from the spiritual world and bathed Krishna. And all the devas and the devis and the rishis and the wives of the rishis, they made so many beautiful gifts and filled that kund with their love, Govinda Kund. And Indra, your name in Goloka, the spiritual world, is Govinda. And now we proclaim your name to be Govinda here in Gokula Vrindavan. It was there at Govinda Kund at Madhavendra Puri. After doing the Govardhan Parikrama, he was just sitting there meditating on Shri Giriraj. Because right across from Govardhan Hill is Govardhan Hill. From Govinda Kund is Shri Giriraj. It's beautiful darshan. Madhavendra Puri is a kalpa vriksha tree of Goloka. Some acharyas explain that in Nidiban in Vrindavan, where Sri Radha and Krishna during the Ras Leela, they would rest there in a special kunj. And while they would rest there, they would rest under a particular kalpavriksha tree. And where even the Sakis and even the Manjaris were shy to come when Shri Radha and Krishna were together in such resting together after dancing through the Rasa Leela. This particular kalpavriksha tree was there, doing seva, hearing, serving. Most intimate seva. That kalpavriksha tree became Madhavendra Puri. In the Sri Madhva Sampradaya of the Brahma Sampradaya, Madhavendra Puri was the first to manifest Madhurya Ras, or conjugal Ras, on the path of pure unalloyed love. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the episode where he was in Ramakeli telling the story of Madhavendra Puri's life, how ecstatically the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nadi Anya, Radha and Krishna too, they become one as Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu. In the form of Sri Chaitanya, Krishna with the bhav and the color of the complexion of Sri Radha. How and why is he honoring and worshipping Madhavendra Puri with such love and devotion? Because of their intimacy in the spiritual world of Goloka, in the Nitya Leela, and because of Madhavendra Puri's incredible, deep ecstasy of love in this world. His disciples, Nityananda Prabhu, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Paramananda Puri, Brahmananda Puri, Ishwara Puri, Advaitacharya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to be connected as the grand disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So he was sitting there for a long time, just chanting Krishna's names and meditating on Shri Radha Gopinath. And look how her boy came up and told him that, "Oh, Goswamiji, you have been here for a long time. Some people beg for food in my village, and some people don't beg. You're so humble, you don't even beg. So I have come to bring you some milk. Please drink this milk." And I will come back after milking the cows, and I will collect the container. Madhavendra Puri said, how did you know I'm fasting? The little cowherd boy said that some of the village ladies were coming and getting water from Govinda Kund, and they told me. So I have come to serve you. So the little boy left, and Madhavendra Puri drank the milk. He washed the pot, and he sat in deep, deep transcendental ecstasy, chanting Krishna's holy name. He was chanting and in love all night long, and right toward the end of the night, he happened to go into a sleeping state. That little cowherd boy came again and took Madhavendra Puri by the hand and said, come, come. He took Madhavendra Puri to a place near Govardhan Hill where there was thick bushes. He said, I am living in those bushes. Long ago, Vajra, the great-grandson of Krishna, formed this deity of mine. And I have been worshipped here since that time. But long ago, some foreign invaders came and terrorized this village of Anior. And the pujari, he put me in the bushes to protect me, to hide me, and then he left and he never came back. And I have been here. I'm very cold in the winter, I'm very hot in the summer, I'm very thirsty, I'm very hungry. I've just been waiting. When will Madhavendra Puri come? Bring the local Brijabasis of the village, cut down these thorny branches, take me out of the bush, and install me on top of Govardhan Hill. Bathe me with thousands and thousands of buckets of pure water from Govinda Kund. Do the Panchamrit and the Panchagavya, have wonderful ceremonies, and then build me temple. Then the little boy disappeared, and Madhavendra Puri woke up and understood the boy that gave him milk was Krishna, and he didn't recognize him. He was so ungrateful. He was thinking. He was grateful, but he didn't recognize. But instead of just getting down on himself, why didn't I recognize Krishna? He was thinking, Krishna gave me seva. Whatever our state of mind may be, we please Krishna by being absorbed in our seva. He brought the Brijabasis, they cut down the trees, the bushes, not trees. They didn't cut trees, they cut bushes. Cutting bushes don't mean killing, it means just cutting. Forgive me if I used the wrong words. And there they found Gopal. Beautiful, beautiful. He was Krishna in the form of Giridhari, lifting the Govardhan Hill. And Madhavendra Puri made a throne out of the stones of Sri Giriraj and put him on the top of the hill and had a beautiful abhishek. And following in the footsteps of Krishna, he had an incredible anakut. The whole village of Anior took all of their surplus of foods and made mountains and kunds of bhoga. It was such a festival. Chanting, dancing, feasting, parikrama. And when other Brijabasi villages heard about that, every day a different village came to do the anakuta for Giriraj Gopal. those wonderful histories that have been worshipped in the hearts of Gaudiya Vaishnavas for over 5 centuries took place at Govinda Kund. As we continue the parikrama, on the mountain of Shri Giriraj is the temple of Doka Dauji. It's a temple of Balaram. We don't go up because he's on the hill. But Doka Dauji, he's crouching down, and he's made of a black, or he has appeared in a black complexion. And the explanation is, this is in memory of when Sri Balaramji was roaming on Sri Giriraj, and Krishna and gopis near the Rasa Stali and Chandra Sarovar were performing their Ras Leela. And Balaram from Sri Govardhan Hill was crouched down watching. And as he was seeing the beautiful form of his beloved brother Krishna, playing his flute and reciprocating love with gopis and dancing, he was so intimately mesmerized with love, so absorbed in Krishna, that his beautiful form, which is white like a spring cloud, became dark like a monsoon cloud in his absorption. Then there is Apsaravan. Within Apsaravan is Apsara Kund. During the Abhishek of Krishna, the time of Indra Puja, Govardhan Puja, the Apsaras, they were dancing here, and they had their Abhishek here. And it is explained that at Apsara Kund, the 24 principal incarnations or avatars of Krishna are forever performing their pastimes on the banks of Apsara Kund. And sometimes when Krishna would be with the gopis, he would manifest his pastimes as the avatars. One time in front of the gopis, he took a 12-armed form of Vishnu. And then Subal manifested the form of Garuda. And Vishnu got on the back of Garuda. And Subal started taking him around. And the gopis were so much struck with wonder. Just see how sweet Krishna is. He can do all these things. Still, they didn't think he was God. And for the gopas, when they would herd their cows around Govardhan Hill at Apsara Kund on the banks, Krishna would manifest his form of Varahadev and lift up something representing the earth. And they would all be clapping. And another time he manifested his form of Sri Ramchandra, the son of Dasarath. And the gopas were so excited, they all manifested forms as monkeys. And they all played together. And during the Rasa Leela of Shri Shri Radha Govinda at Govardhan, sometimes in their ecstatic love, because you see Rasa Leela. Ras means the deep expressions of the mellows of loving exchange. And on the spiritual level of Vrindavan, these loving exchanges have unlimited ways of expressing themselves. And Krishna and gopis, their bodies are spiritual. They can manifest in any way for the purpose of giving pleasure to each other. So here at Apsara Kund, Krishna's body would melt into a liquid ecstasy, and it filled a kund called Navala Kund, just beside Apsara Kund. And Sri Radha and gopis, their bodies, and which are non-different from their love, would melt in ecstasy and fill Apsara Kund. Apsara Kund is the liquid personified love of Sri Radha and gopis, and Krishna is Krishna's personified love of Sri Radha and gopis. And we have the chance to come to these places. We may not be able to understand it intellectually or logically, but with faith in the inconceivable lila of love of Vrindavan, we could bathe in that love. We could sprinkle that love. We could drink that love. Apsara and Navala Kund. A little further, that whole area is called Pujari. It's the far end of Sri Giriraj. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and other acharyas tell that Giriraj has taken the form like a peacock, and Pujari is the tail. Many beautiful things are eternally taking place at Pujari. There is one temple, Pujari Kalota, with a really, really extraordinary form of a cowherd boy. His name is Lota. And when Krishna and Balaram were leaving with a Krura from Vrindavan to Mathura, Lota had prepared boga to offer to Krishna. He's a cowherd boy. And he stopped Krishna on the way and said, I have prepared boga for you. Please come and take. Krishna Balaram, they cannot refuse the loving offerings of the devotees. So he said, I will come back the day after tomorrow and honor your boga. And Lota said, I will stand here. I will not drink water. I will not eat food until you come to honor the bog. And he stood. And he has a little stick. Still waiting. The amazing thing is this Murti of Lota is he's quite heavyweight for a little cowherd boy. You have all seen? How is it? He's not eating for thousands of years or drinking. In the spirit of his humility, his patience, his faith in separation from Krishna, he's being nourished with that prema. It reminds us of the story from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, where Mukunda Dutt was chastised by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That he will not see me for 10 million. No, I don't want to see his face. And Mukunda Dutt was weeping and crying, will I ever be able to see Lord Chaitanya again? Will I ever be able to see him? And Srivas Thakur felt such compassion to Mukunda. He came to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, Mukunda is weeping, he's crying, he loves you. Whenever he chants the holy names, everyone's hearts melt. What has he done? Please let him see you. He said, I will not see him. Srivas said, Mukunda is crying, will he ever get to see you again? Mahaprabhu said, after 10 million births. Mukunda heard that. He was so happy. 10 million births, only 10 million births I get to see the Lord. He was dancing and crying and celebrating in jubilation. Lord Chaitanya was laughing. He said, bring him now. And Mukunda, they said, Mukunda, Mahaprabhu wants to see you now. But he was so totally intoxicated in the trance of 10 million births only. He was just 10 million births, I will see, I will see. And they said, Mukunda, come now, I will see, I will see. And they picked him up and they put him right in front of Lord Gauranga. And Lord Chaitanya is very happy. So this is a very important principle that Lauta, Gopa, and Mukunda are teaching us. That the darshan of Krishna, love of Krishna, is not a cheap thing. Even if there's no taste, just understanding what the value is of what we're being given. Even if chanting 16 rounds, 64 rounds, whatever it may be, for many, many births, following regulative principles, performing seva, we should just be so happy that it will come. That is patience. That patience is an expression of humility. We're not demanding. We're not expecting according to our plan. Sharanagati means, Krishna, I'm giving my heart to your plan. Ashlisya vapadaratam panashtam. Lauta Baba is teaching us one of the most important principles, to remain faithful, enthusiastic, and patient on the path of bhakti. And to cultivate the ecstasies of separation through our prayers and through our sadhana and through our seva. Just beyond that is Mani Kundali Cave. It's a cave where Shri Radha Gopinath would perform their very special leelas at Govardhan. It was also a place where Champak Devi, one of the Sakis of Braj Bhumi, would perform her leelas of offering beautiful flowers and wonderful, wonderful seva to Radharani and Govinda Dev. And Raghava Pandit, that great associate of Lord Chaitanya, he lived in that cave. Just beyond is Surabhikund. We discussed the importance of this place on the day of Govardhan Puja. It is where Indra, with all of his riches, opulence, and powers, humbled himself before a simple mother cow. Because she loved Krishna. And her prayer opened the doors for Indra to receive Krishna's mercy. Just as the Nagapatnis, their prayers opened the doors for Kaliya to receive Krishna's mercy. For us today, Surabhikund represents the place of forgiveness. All that we have done in this life, all that we have done in previous lives, can all be forgiven if we sincerely take shelter of the Lord's dear devotees. Nityananda Prabhu he started his Namhata at Surabhikund. in Navadvip. Bhaktivinoda Thakur made his home near Surabhi Kunj in Navadvip. This principle of compassion, of mercy, of seeking forgiveness, and also giving forgiveness. It's a universal principle. When we forgive others, then we become receptive to be forgiven as well. Rudra Kund, Mahadev, Shankar. There are many wonderful places here in Vrindavan that he presides. Gopeshwar Mahadev, Kameshwar Mahadev, Bhuteshwar Mahadev, Chakaleshwar Mahadev, Nandeshwar Mahadev. Rudrakund is a place that Lord Shiva, seeing the beautiful pastimes of Radha Govinda Dev at Govardhan, filled the kund with his tears. And the gopis, when they would be in separation from Krishna, they would weep incessant tears of love there at Rudrakund. Then we have Jatipur, Madhavendra Puri. That is where he resided. He was a sannyasi, a jati. This is the place of the great sannyasi Madhavendra Puri. And just at Jatipur above is the place where the Gopal temple was, where he built his temple for Shri Nathji, Shri Gopalji. For those who are followers of Pushti Marg, we find the Mukharavinda, the face of Giriraj, where there's constantly crowds of people pouring milk on Sri Giriraj. And I remember when I first came there in 1971-72, and I saw dozens and dozens of people taking such nice milk and pouring it on the Shila. Just huge quantities of milk. Just one person, they were standing in line with buckets of milk, just one after another, after another, after another, after. There were like thousands of gallons of milk being poured on Sri Giriraj. And it was just coming down and on the ground, and in those days, it would just go right into the gutter system. You know gutter? What is the Indian word for gutter? The side of the road where usually sewage flows, you know that place? Well, the milk, it was just milk flowing there. And you know, in the West, gutters are not considered very sanitary places. But I saw Brajavasis getting down on their knees to the gutters. The gutters on the side of the roads flowing even half a block down. And they're drinking and sprinkling and giving it to their children. So what could you do except go down and drink it? Mukharavinda. And just there is the Samadhi Mandir of Vithalnath, the son of Sri Vallabhacharya, and the Baitak of Sripad Vallabhacharya, where he performed his sadhana and his bhajan. Little further is Sakistali, which is the place of Chandravali. And then we come to Uddhavakund. There, this kund is dedicated to Sri Uddhav. In fact, he gave discourses at this kund. But we have spoken previously in our Yatra how Uddhav came to Vrindavan because he was Krishna's most intimate, loving friend in Mathura and later in Dwarka. Krishna wanted to give him the highest mercy. Krishna was with him all day long, every day. But the highest mercy was to send him to be with the gopis, so he could understand the extent of the ecstatic love of Vrindavan. When Uddhava came to Sri Braj Bhumi, he met Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai, and they were always crying. Have you seen Krishna? What is Krishna doing? When is he going to return home? Mother Nanda Maharaj said, look at Yashoda. She can't eat, she can't sleep, she's crying for Krishna. Tell him, when will he come home? And look at his friends, the Sakas and the Gopis. Everyone is drying up. When will Krishna return home? When Uddhava saw Nanda Maharaj's love, such absorption in Krishna, such ecstasy in separation, Uddhava was so humbled. He said, you are the most fortunate person. Nanda Maharaj chastised him. He said, what do you know about fortune? How can you say I am fortunate? I am like a man, a poor man, who attained the greatest treasure. A man in poverty who finally attains a great treasure and doesn't recognize the value of that treasure, neglects it, and then it's taken away, it's lost. That person is the most unfortunate. Krishna, the supreme object of love, was my son. He was with us every day. But I couldn't really appreciate, and now I've lost him. And Nanda Maharaj fell unconscious. And he said, and you say I'm fortunate? I am most unfortunate. And Uddhava realized, he's so fortunate, I don't even know how to talk to him. And then he met the Gopas. And the Gopas were in a trance. They're just roaming around the pasture. Some of them are just looking toward Mathura, waiting. The only thing moving was their tears. Other Gopas were playing the games they used to play with Krishna while weeping in separation. Where is Gopal? And then he met Gopis. And Sri Radha Sri Radha in Srimad Bhagavatam, she saw a bee. And that beautiful Brahmar Gita, where she's expressing her love to Krishna through the messenger of the bee. Why doesn't Krishna just let us die? Gaur Govinda Maharaj, His Holiness, quoting from the Acharyas, expresses what Sri Radharani was saying in great detail. One of the outbursts of love was she was speaking to the bee and to Uddhava through the bee and to Krishna.